Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Faith Ventures, where we talk all things about Christ, about the culture through the lens of conversation. And if you know me, you know I'm a big cinephile. I love movies, TV. I love storytelling. Like, I'm just so fascinated by it. And if unless you've been living under a rock, there's been a huge story out there about the Stranger Things season and how it ended, and I believe it's called Conformity Gate, right? And just earlier today, the documentary on the final season of Stranger Things got released, and all the theories out there were theorizing, right? I mean, there was multiple ones, but the one main theory out there was either this documentary was going to turn into a meta episode 9 where they still had to fight Vecna, because the way it seems that episode 8 ended, especially when you pick up through the epilogue and to the conclusion, there can kind of be a case where it's like, are these guys all in a trance because they all have changed? And then there's all these things with like the merchandise of Stranger Things, whatever. So the theory was out there was that this episode was going to turn into a weird meta where they still have to fight Vecna. Then there was other theory out there that it would be a regular documentary, but then at the end they would drop like some clue or something about like, oh, new episodes are coming. Everybody was right. Yes, it was all a dream. They have been Vecna'd, and all that stuff. And I thought it was funny. Like, I bought into some things where I'm just like, that kind of does real make sense. But there's also this other idea out there called Occam Razor, which, if I remember correctly, means that the most likely scenario, Occam's razor, is that the most likely scenario actually is what probably happened. And what everybody pretty much came to the conclusion on after episode 8 dropped, at least most of us, I think most people didn't like the ending. I know some people who did. I think majority of people didn't like the ending. And what the conclusion that we came to was, I think these guys just didn't know what they were doing. I just think these guys were bad at writing. I think they had a good gimmick at the beginning. They had a great idea, but then couldn't take it all the way to its conclusion. I mean, what a cool, great idea. And here's the thing. It's not even a complicated idea, right? It's not something that no one has ever thought about or done before, right? Another universe, and kids are going to discover it, and there's going to be all this adventure. That's a very simple idea. Very, very simple idea. But it just seems like they couldn't stick the landing. And the documentary actually proved that theory to be true, that these guys, the Duffer Brothers, just seemed to not know what they were doing, right? Because there's so many little videos and aspects that took place that showed, like, oh my gosh, like, why are they having this conversation? Like, oh, this is terrible. And I just wanted to point out one of them because I thought it was really funny. And it was one thing that I even thought in the moment when I was watching the finale, which was, okay, they're finally in the other world, the abyss, and they're about to fight, the Mind Flayer. He's in a huge, like, monster kaiji form, right? It's pretty cool, pretty epic. But then I had this thought of like, yo, where are the demi-dogs? Where are the bats? Where are all the other creatures that the show has told us live in this area? Where are they? So listen now to this part of the documentary in which one of the writers literally brings this up, and then you just see like a confused kind of look on one of the brothers' faces of like, and we'll just play it from there. And and then I'll talk more about it, because there was even more stuff that came out about this one area. This part of the documentary. But let's play it and hear what it says.
There have to be some monsters in the abyss. I agree. There has to be Demogorgon, bat, dog, like something. It's crazy if there's nothing there, I think.
Right? Crazy. Interesting. And apparently it gets even worse, because there was information that came out that the reason why ultimately the demo dogs, right, the bats and all the other creatures weren't in that final scene is because the Duffer Brothers thought and thought wrongly, oh, people would have fatigue about it. Another Demogorgon, another monster. Like, we got to get rid of that. And then in another article, right, they said, oh well, Vecna would never expect them to come to his planet, and so that somehow explains away why the Demodogs, the bats weren't in that final fight, even though they also explain in the show that Vecna and the Mind Flayer are all in a hive mind. And so even if, let's say, Vecna, right, didn't expect them to be there, the second they were there, hive mind, oh, hey, come over here. We're going to go kill all these kids. Kill everybody. Because look, they surprised us. They made it here, but hive mind, come and help. And again, people make theories. People made all that. Oh, it was all a dream. The reason why they beat the Mind Flayer and Vecna so easily is because they actually got Vecna. They're all under his trance. And it turns out the real bad guy was the Duffer Brothers. And this, to me, it goes into like, and I said this when I did my little review on David. There's such an opportunity for us as Christians to step into this space and start creating good storytelling. And we can start with the Bible, right? And it's crazy. People have made Bible stories and movies from the dawn of time, right? But the issue there is Hollywood has always dramatized it up, changed certain things that we're not actually getting a true, source material version of what happened. And the thing is that the stories in the Bible are amazing. They don't need to be dramatized in this extra crazy, weird way. Hollywood is creatively bankrupt right now. And I think it's an opportunity for us as Christians to step in and start making good storytelling. So please go and support David. If you haven't watched David, go and watch it. Angel Studios, I know, is even making some other movies out there. Like, go support this studio, this Christian studio. Go and support it. And other studios out there, like, make sure you're watching, like, The Chosen and The House of David. I said in that video, I haven't even watched those videos, but I feel more compelled now than ever to actually take time to watch these shows, to show my support for them, because I think the future of cinema is going to be tied to all these other studios that are just going to come out of nowhere because they can make good storytelling, right? They can make good stories. And I think Christians can be a part of that with our own productions, our own movie studios. We can step in there and start making some good content because Hollywood clearly doesn't know what they're doing. You have guys like the Duffer Brothers who clearly don't know what they're doing, who are probably so ego driven and, just big-headed that when someone actually presents to them a flaw in their story, it's just met with a And that's just ego. That's ego to realize, oh crap, I just screwed up a very obvious thing in my story. I probably should rewrite that. I probably should address that. Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Only ego leads you to a place where someone can tell you the truth about something and you're just like, yeah. And so again, like I said, for the third time, we have an opportunity, us as Christians, to support studios, good Christian studios that want to make good content, that know what they're doing, that there isn't ego driven because they're being driven by kingdom principles, right? And so the only ego they have is lifting up the name of Jesus. Supporting those studios, supporting movies like David, right? Supporting shows like The Chosen, supporting shows like House of David, supporting these things because Hollywood just doesn't seem to know what they're doing. And not only that, they seem to just not care. And so they don't care about how much money you're spending at movie theaters, right? They don't care about telling a good story, right? all they care about is trying to get you watch something. And that something doesn't even have to be good. They just want to make sure we can market it where someone can just have eyes on it. Then we've done our job. We don't care whether if the product is good or not. That's just not a good business model. And you see it. You see it suffering. People aren't going to movies now. People are streaming more than ever. And I'm one of those people where I'm just like, I will totally watch a movie that's terrible, but if I can watch it from my home and it's free, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. But I'm not gonna go and spend my hard-earned money on something that's going to be preachy to me, make me feel like my, way of thinking is wrong, and I'm a problem, like preaching too much, like the way Disney has done in the past couple of years, pretty much all cinema has done in the past couple of years. Like those days are over. People will go find other sources. Netflix is going to feel this. The way that this documentary came out, nothing came from it. And they were literally gaslighting people. You can go and watch timelines of like Netflix accounts on TikTok, Instagram, playing into this idea of conformity gate. They 100% played into the idea of it, and all just for the purpose to get you to watch the documentary. That's what it offers. Again, Occam's razor. Why would they do all this? Because they're going to release an episode 9, or because they just want to get you to watch the documentary? They just want to get you to watch a documentary. And so they fed into this idea, but it's going to come back on them, and it's definitely going to come back on the Duffer Brothers. It's 100% going to come back on them. I feel bad. I think they have a deal with Paramount next. I feel bad for whatever next thing that they're about to try to create with Paramount, because I can assure you it's gonna be dead on arrival. But yeah, I wanted to talk about it again. We're probably going to be talking more about, cinema. We're going to definitely be talking and uplifting more Christian TV shows, Christian cinema that's going to be coming out there. And so if you like that content, go ahead and subscribe to us. It helps us out so much. We're small, but we're a growing channel, and we want to do big things for the kingdom of God. But hope you guys enjoy that. We'll see you guys in the next video.